Hey guys, welcome to this week's track guide at Watkins Glen in the Cup Series car. In this video, I'm going to show one full lap on board in full speed, and then I'm going to show the lap in slow motion and basically analyze each corner and how I approach it. Now before I get to the laps, I just want to point out I'm using the baseline Watkins Glen setup with a steering ratio of 10 to 1 and a brake bias of 61%. Now without further ado, let's get to the lap. So that was a 113.171, and here are the settings that were used. 65% track usage and a 78-degree air temp and 119 degrees track temperature. So now let's head to the slow motion lap. So as we're starting the lap here, we're staying in third gear. We're not shifting up to fourth, I feel it's just unnecessary, and we're looking on the left-hand side of the track. You can see the lights right here, that's our reference braking zone, and so we're going to start braking there around 80%. Very easy to lock up here, and that's where you can kind of judge like your preference in terms of brake pressure. If you feel you're locking up too much, maybe start raising it actually. But as it's downhill, it's going to actually slow down a bit slower than you think, as the car is going to kind of speed up, I guess, as you're going downhill. So again, downshifting to second, try not to get too much wheel hop in here. You kind of see I got a bit of oversteer as I downshifted there, maybe a bit too early. But you kind of want to aim for, I'm going to speed it up here for a second, just a quarter speed. You want to aim for the inside bit of the white curb, but not all the way, because that can actually like unsettle the car. Now, as you're getting on the exit here, you can kind of just take a bit of the curb. If you go out too wide here, you're going to have to turn back, and that's not a problem based off distance. The problem is just that because you're still trying to turn the car, you won't be able to get back to power. You're just going to get a lot of wheel spin. So trying to straighten out the exit as soon as possible will really help with getting back to power and having a good exit. So as we're approaching the S's here, shifting up to third gear right about here, and it's very easy right here as we're managing the throttle. We're holding about half, 50% throttle, just maintaining that pressure. And it's very easy while you're just having that, because you're not making a hard braking or hard acceleration. The car is just going to remain stable, and so you might just like understeer out wide. And you don't want to be aiming for that white curb. You want to be aiming almost to apex at the end of this yellow curb here. So very, very late apex. You can see still a hard turn, and you can't see the left-hander yet. But as we're just going up the hill here, again, we're not aiming for this white curve for the apex. We're almost aiming at the end of the white curve to apex. So very late apex here, just that way you don't understeer there. If you early apex, then you're going to start unwinding the steering wheel, and then you're going to be way over here for this corner, and then you're going to have to let off the gas. So your main focus, again, just getting a good exit for this long back straight. So just apexing the car for that left-hander as late as possible. You can still see, as I'm trying to get on the power, a lot of unsettling as we're getting up to fourth gear. But I'm just going to go back to half speed as we're finally getting up to fourth gear, looking on the left-hand side for braking zone. And we're going to be using this light pole right here with like the caution light on it, just past that or just at it. Again, like 75, 80% pressure. I'm going to just go back to quarter speed. And we're downshifting to third, and here you actually have a few options here. You can stay in third as you get up to this curbing, or you can downshift to second as I do right there. If you downshift to second early, that will work, but if not, you can actually downshift to second later, right about here. But I'm going to pause right here, and this curb, just want to point out something about this curb. You can see that there's kind of like, if I just go a bit further, there's like two sections of it, one like right here and one right here. If you take this first section, you'll be okay because it's quite a small and low curb. But if you take the second one, it'll really unsell the car and just understeer you wide. So you want to be careful about how much curb you're taking. If you take too much of it, it's just going to kind of launch your car out and it's just going to understeer. So be careful about the amount of curb you take in that first part. But if you take just a little bit of curb, it'll help you just get around the corner smoothly. And then as you take this, let's point out how important this curb is. It looks very minor, but you can see how it kind of unsells the right hand of the car, right hand side, and then you can kind of push you over to the left hand side. If there's a guy right behind you, he's going to try to like dive bomb into the carousel on the right hand side. So you want to make sure to try to get a tight line and hug the curbing as soon as you can. That way there's no chance for the guy to get inside of you. So again, just managing the gas as you get around the carousel, and then a good idea of when to start accelerating. You kind of look at this black tire barrier, and kind of when the truck starts to go back downhill, that's when you're kind of getting back to accelerating a bit more. Not immediately back to full gas. Again, just being progressive through it, as well as the steering, just slowly unwinding the steering wheel using all of the exit room out of the carousel. Oh, sorry about that. Didn't mean to blast your ears there. Again, just going back down this long straight, that's the main focus again of the carousel, just getting a good exit, not having a lot of wheel spin. Approaching this in third gear, and again, you have options. You can stay in third gear or you can go in a second gear. If you stay in third, again, kind of braking right at the bridge or right at the wherever the fencing ends. And if you stay in third here, it's kind of understeer a bit. Like if you're on older tires, you can start to downshift to second because the oversteer will help it. But if you're in third here, once you accelerate, it's not going to hurt your rear tires as badly. So you can kind of manage tire wear throughout the race if you stay in third through there. Again, as we approach the final corner, bring the car over to the left-hand side. Trail braking around 60% brake pressure at the threshold braking point, and then so easy to turn in too early here and then hit like the curb right there and it'll launch your car wide. You want to aim right for it, but it'll just take a lot of, I guess, practice about I guess where to aim. I mean, if you look at the corner right here, you can kind of see that there's two bits of the curving. One that gets to this point, and then the angle of the corner kind of changes. So you don't want to aim right here. You want to aim like right past it. That way you're prepared for the corner. So yeah, try to aim there just when the curving changes. So obviously the tighter you get, the earlier you'll be able to get back on the power. Again, small counter steer there as I got a bit too excited on the gas. But again, back to full gas once you get on the straight, up to third gear and to the line. So finally, I'm just going to show that lap on chase view, and hope you guys appreciated the lap guide. Okay, thanks for watching guys, and hope you enjoyed.